Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Sparrow,
I'm Roxy.
And I'm yellow.
and we're all adults.
Pew, pew, pew.
Pew.
Okay, so I'm going to kick off today's episode. We are talking about sexual compatibility. So let's start as always, Sparrow, let's start with you. What do you think sexual compatibility is?
I think sexual compatibility to me would be just kind of like matching energy, being able to like match that like intensity, being able to match kinks, fetishes, just being open to trying stuff with my partner, and me and my partner always being in agreement to like this is what turns us on, this is what gets us off, and this is what we're both gonna consensually do as adults. Roxy.
I think it's just being able to match that energy, and if you can't, being willing to try. That's what I think it is.
I think that's a good one. Okay, for me personally, sexual compatibility is about both people enjoying the experience. I think whether you share the same kinks or whatever doesn't necessarily matter because you can still be sexually compatible in other ways if you like can figure out how to enjoy each other's space. But so we decided to look up a definition for sexual compatibility, but instead there is this like sort of definition that Psychology Today offers, and it says the following. It says it's the extent to which a couple perceives they share sexual beliefs, preferences, desires, and needs with their partner. So, that being said, it kind of falls into a couple of things that we've said, kind of not. But let's start with Roxy today. Hey.
Get it, girl.
Do you feel that you've been able to experience sexual compatibility?
I feel, and I feel like a lot of women can back me up on this. I feel like it's so funny what you think good sex is until you get older, and then you go, "Oh, so I was just hunching." Like I was just getting my hole poked. It's funny like how that goes. I have for majority of like my early life have not experienced it like more than I have experienced it. But now that I have experienced it, I will not accept anything less. So it's one of those things.
I think that's great. You deserve to not feel less than what you want.
Like it's crazy how you don't really know what's going on until you like really find out, and then it's just like, oh, so you mean to tell me that I have been sinning this whole time for no reason?
Oh no,
So
not sinning.
whenever I get wherever it is that's gonna happen, whoever's gonna question me, and we talk about this, it's gonna be for no reason.
Damn, so all that was time wasted.
Yeah, I'm just laying on the bed and it's making noises for nothing.
Do you feel like that was due to your past partners or to yourself and your own sexual inexperience or
I
their
do,
sexual
I
inexperience?
feel like it was due to everybody's. Like I'm only like in my mid 20s now, so it's just kind of like I didn't met some women that was older and they don't know anything that I'm talking about or haven't like experienced anything that I'm talking about. So I'm just like, mm, sucks to be you. Sucks to be you, but yeah. Either way, I shall sin with purpose from now on.
Do you think, Roxy? Do you think?
What about you, Sparrow? Do you think you've felt sexual compatibility before?
I definitely felt like I've felt it before. Taking off what Roxy said, I think it was something that I came into. I feel like when I was younger, it was just about me figuring out like what it was that I liked or what it was that like I was cool with my partners or like this and that, and just getting to know my own body and getting to know women's bodies and how to like truly please women's bodies. I feel like that would also help with sexual compatibility for me because now I knew that my partner was getting pleased before I was getting pleased, and I feel like that's like a big thing in a relationship. So I feel like as I got older, I definitely am falling more into sexual compatibility with people.
It's awesome that you care about that.
You have to. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah.
Team effort,
It's a team effort, you know. Not only that, it keeps your girl happy. You want to keep your girl happy.
I think that's a good sentiment. It's
Yeah.
important, right? Everyone should be able to enjoy themselves. Okay, so in terms of sexual compatibility and stuff, I think it's fair enough to assume that everyone has felt sexual incompatibility at some point or another.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Roxy sighed so hard.
Deep sigh.
Deep sigh. Do you
Are we
want to tell
about to hear a
us?
horror story? Would you like to share?
First, Yellow. She has this like slick way of being at it. What's your sexual
Uh,
compatibility? Yeah, you see.
This is the like benefit of hosting. Sometimes I just get to pass the baton. I think I've had sexual compatibility with a couple of people, for sure. I think there are people that I've met that we just kind of vibed it off, whether it was like from energy, from like a kink or pleasure standpoint, but also from like there were a lot of things happening that I was like, this is was and will be a good time. Like I think even now, like years later from meeting some of these people, I still think that we could like click off in a really nice way. Like we would still have that same compatibility. Now that I've answered, now can I pass the... I'm just kidding. I'm only going to be salty for all of 2 seconds. Then
Spill
it's
the tea.
finished.
Let's hear the tea.
Yeah.
Spill it.
Are we spilling tea about the incompatibility?
Yeah, let's
Oh my
start there. That's
gosh.
all the
Yeah, let's
fun
hear
stuff,
it.
you know?
Honestly, I don't have time to spare people because I feel like as like girls, teens, like whatever it is, like going into that that transition of you get introduced to sex and all that type of stuff. I just feel like women, we kind of get like this whole, oh, she couldn't take blah blah blah, oh, she couldn't do this blah blah blah. Sir, let's talk about what you can't do at this point.
As the only male in the room,
exactly.
Go ahead.
Like I have gotten to the point where I was like, I'm not gonna feel bad just because I can't put all this in my mouth or whatever because I don't want to choke myself to death. I'm not gonna feel bad. I'm not gonna feel bad at all. Like I'm just not gonna do that. Like, can we talk about how the fact that you think that it's sexy that the only experience that you have is off of like X videos? Like, like we don't want to talk about that. Like, I feel like we still, it's still like a thing where we have to get out of like the narrative of sex is for guys, because for the most part they really don't be hitting on nothing. Like, for the most part they really don't be hitting on anything. Like, dang, I'm not trying to like trash people, but it's just like there's so many things that go into it. Like, me then isn't the same as like me now. Okay, I feel like maybe younger me, like, oh yeah, you want it like big and maybe like rough or whatever, blah blah blah. But obviously all of that extra shit was nothing. Me older now, it's just like, if you know the way my vagina, like, oh god. If you know like the way my vagina is positioned, some are downwards, some are upwards. If you know that, cool. Like, I will ask, and I have asked the person I am with now. He got it right. We're still together. Like,
Is that the
like
This is the one.
we're still together. Like, it's just like, it's certain things I want to know if you're like paying attention to. Just like the whole thing of, oh, she couldn't take it versus it hurts. It's not my fault that it hurts. It's your fault, sir, that it hurts. It has nothing to do with me. If something hurts me, why do you think that's so cool? Like, am I going to think it's good? Not at this age. Try again, buddy. But I'm going to stop right there.
I think that's a good place to rotate through.
I just really like just let it go.
No. I mean, if you still have
that's
something to
fair.
rant, go for it.
It's okay. I'm gonna steal that baton from you because you know what? You had a really good. Thank you so much. Pass taken. I think you had a really good point about if it hurts. I know I've mentioned in the past about like getting up and like walking away from like a sexual interaction because it just wasn't working, but also like be understanding when to get up because the pain is not pleasurable anymore is so important because I feel like there's this like idea of bigger is better, and I think the language needs to change around that. I think the language needs to adjust so we understand that like what you do with what you have is equally as important as what you have. Because I used to hear people say things like, "Oh, there's no such thing as like too big, but there is such a thing as too small." You know what? Now, the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm dying. Like, if I feel like you're going to pierce an organ and I'm going to have to go to the hospital, like, we should pause. Like, I've definitely taken a pause and been like, you know what? I don't think this is going to work right now because it was painful, but also because I was like, I need to adjust. Like, I got to ease into this. This is not
Right.
this is not a one go and I'm about to like have the greatest time of my life. This is like if we go all in all day, like I need a hospital visit. I need a doctor. Someone please tell me if I need stitches. Like, and, like
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
laugh. That's cool. I
Yeah.
totally get it. But
I
like,
know,
there is
it's-
such an idea of like people telling you that the bigger is better. And then you get to that point and realize like, no, you kind of have to train your body up to this level. Like, you can't just
Fair
jump
enough,
in
yeah.
and act like it's fine.
I feel that. Yeah.
I don't know. Spiro, I think it's your turn because we've all had nervous
You said
giggles this whole
Sparrow.
like
I was
we're not
like,
even that deep into this episode and we're all like giggling or whatever.
I'm dying.
Tell us about your sexual incompatibility. Where does your spectrum start?
It's a little bit more different than yours or both of y'all's, just because mine doesn't deal with pain.
Mhm.
Because I'm not the one receiving. I'm the one giving, so it's a little bit different for me, I guess. Like,
It's another conversation.
yeah, it's like if I'm like having sex with you, I don't know if you're in pain or not.
Hmm.
If you're not
Someone should
communicating.
tell you if they are.
But I guess to the point where you guys are saying it, because I'm receiving it as just like, oh, okay, like I'm inside you. You're probably moaning. You're like digging your nails into my back, depending on what position we're in. You're probably like kissing on me. I'm over here thinking like you're having the time of your life. I didn't know like deep down inside like, and that's an interesting perspective I just learned too. I didn't know how much pain there was involved with it from what you guys said because you guys
You
did
saying
use.
something interesting too.
What was that?
Like the whole acting like it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
I don't want to bash anybody, but how old are we? Depending on your age, you're gonna act like if it hurts or not. Right now, if that shit hurt, I'm gonna tell you that shit hurt.
Yeah.
I am not a teenager. I don't have to act as if, oh, well, maybe it should. I know what it feels like now. So if you don't, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what it's supposed to feel like, I excuse you for acting like you know what it's supposed to feel like. But if you've been down this road however many times, but then I can't save you. At this point we're done being, what is it, Jenna Jameson or whatever, like Misty Stone. I'm over it. Like I'm over it.
You just want
I'm
a
over
regular
this
life.
Pornhub shit. Like no.
I mean, I think that also has to do with it's a completely different conversation, but I think it's how porn has like tried to like normalize society into what sex is.
Right.
Because I think it's something we talked about in our first episode, where it's just like our idea of sex does come from what we see in the media. It's never just
It's
like
not the same.
it's not the same. Like honestly, it's just like realistically, you're never gonna walk into the room and like fuck a porn type girl or a porn type guy. Your average person doesn't look like that. When you're just out in the streets, like you don't really walk into people like that.
No, but I will say, as a average person, I do like to think in my head that I come off as this like porn star level great.
I feel very
I
highly
have
about
my
myself.
own-
Like,
Yes, I have my own category in my mind.
yeah,
for
no,
love.
trust me. Like,
Yeah.
I hold myself highly. Like,
Right, I do.
But also realistically though, it's just like I don't have like a fucking 12 pack. I can admit that. I'm not 6 foot. I don't have like a fucking 13-foot dick. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Well, I think you just learned that the 13-foot dick is not the ideal.
I was over exaggerating, but yeah, it's just like it's not ideal. Now I know that. It's just like
You have to be careful with that thing. Watch where you swing.
you might poke an eye out.
For real.
Literally.
Like,
Oh man.
But-
That sounds so dangerous. Literally poke an eye out with a dick.
See, if I had like a huge dick like that, I don't know what to do with it. Honestly, like I feel like that's because sometimes like I see the like the dildos that some girls use, and I'm just like, bro, that's like a fucking like can of like some shit that you're putting inside you. Like that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so we're in Atlanta, and has everyone here been to Tokyo Valentino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, So the one, I think it's off of Cheshire Bridge, that location specifically, when you enter through the back door, I hate that I said it like that. When you enter from the back, I can't say it any better. I give up. The back entrance of this, I hate it. I hate it so much. Anyways, you enter, and on the left-hand side, I can't. On the left-hand side is immediately like a wall of dildos, and then they have the freestanding ones too, and they're obviously like different sizes, shapes, bends, whatever. But have you? And I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but have y'all noticed that the like largest of largest sizes are on the edges near like the entrance points of each section, and the average sizes are kind of like meandered throughout. So the first thing you see visually is the largest dick you're possibly going to see while you're there.
That seems terrifying because that seems like as big as me balling up my fist and like trying to stuff this into you. Like I feel like this would not be enjoyable for you. Like
I mean, I think that kind of goes back to the point. Sexual compatibility's got to be different for everyone, right? Like
It's
right now,
different.
we're obviously talking about like this physical aspect of it, right? There's a whole emotional level and things that go into whatever, but like that has to go back into like these previous episodes where we talk about having conversations with the people that you're sleeping with, whether it's like a singular person or partner. From a strictly physical standpoint, this like we really blur the line for people who don't know what's happening, and we tell them via like porn that the bigger is better, that like this is what sex looks like. And then you walk into a porn shop, or not a porn shop, a sex shop, like Tokyo Valentino or Starship or whatever. Right.
You reinforce it. Like, yeah.
Like there's definitely like a lot more options for like your average size things, or like the things that are going to be like universally pleasurable. But I don't want to call it extremes, but the larger sizes or the like more adventurous toys and stuff are definitely going to stand out to you.
Of course. I mean, it's like, it's a big ass piece of plastic. It's just like...
It's not plastic. I'm going to real quick put a pin in that.
My bad.
Please use silicone.
I have never like personally bought like a dildo or anything, so my knowledge of that is very limited. But...
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to put it out there right now. Get silicone.
Get silicone.
Make sure it's body safe. Make sure you like spend proper money on it, because you don't want the toy to erode over time within your body. That's dangerous. And if you're going to use it with multiple people, then you better wrap the toy the same way you would wrap a human boy. Like,
honestly, if you're using it with multiple people, you're getting judgment on my behalf. I don't like that.
I don't either. But
yeah, this is crazy. Like
that's a whole thing.
But I feel like when we talk about that, I feel like as far as extremes, does not like the average person. I don't care. Humans like the extreme of everything. Like of everything.
Do we?
Yes.
I think most people are average.
Things that are like popular, like okay,
I feel like you might want to try
food
it,
pages.
but like
what? People like the idea of something extreme.
Yes.
Like you're gonna want to try it. Like
until you try it, then you're like, this
yeah,
might not be
like
for
it's
me.
just like it's that whole thing of getting you to at least do it at least once. That's like the whole advertisement behind it. Now, if you end up having like a fascination into that, then cool. If you can live up to it, go you.
Some people can live up to it. Like.
Yeah, some people can live up. Like some people can live up. Like I feel like I have like an array of people that I know, and I'm actually happy that we all like different stuff. Everybody's on a different level, like, and I appreciate that. You know where you are, and you're comfortable. You just gotta find somebody that matches that same flow. And if you don't match, at this point, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, just move on if you don't match at that point.
And it's fine. Unless sex isn't your thing, it is my thing, cool. If it's not your thing, you can work it out. Over here, if you're not matching what I'm putting down, I don't care. It's fine. We can just meet each other in the afterlife.
Okay, it's fine. So I'm going to ask anyways. If we're looking at like a purely physical standpoint and stuff, do you guys feel like average features are the most appealing? both in terms of like, actually, I don't know what that means as
Yeah,
a straight man
yeah.
for
It's
like,
just like, it's like, what are
because
you
I'm like
asking?
every
Like,
vagina is different. But like as far as like, damn. Okay, as far as like dick size is concerned, if you were to go into a store, Roxy, what section of the wall are we looking at?
It's so bad. It's not even bad. What am I talking about? I should pop myself. But I actually don't look for. I don't mess with like things that look like dicks in like sex stores because it's so obtainable to get in real life that it's kind of just like,
I guess she was just trying to ask, like, what is your preferred size?
oh, what's my preferred size?
Yeah.
You know, I can do average. I don't want a big one anymore. Like, I feel like when it's big, you got to be more careful, and it's so easy. Like when you get carried away to like rip somebody in half. And I kind of just don't have time for it. Like I just don't have time for it. So it's like right now, like I'll do average. If I ever feel like a little like, oh my god, it's Halloween.
I feel a little
Okay.
risky. I feel
I feel a
adventurous.
little
Let me go for
risky, like,
the top
yeah.
shelf.
Like,
The top shelf.
right,
I
like
like
guess.
it.
do some different
Okay,
shit.
so if that's because I'm definitely on the average size. I don't want to call it average size train. I do think like average is preferable, right? Like I know that as far as like my body's concerned, I'm not gonna feel like I'm dying or like in too much pain. Like maybe we can go a little bit more, but also like we gotta
can,
prepare, you know?
You have like if you're
Like
going to be bigger, you have to know what you are doing. With me, I don't care about anybody else. You have to know what you're doing with me, or it's not happening.
yeah, you know, practice.
And I know that within. I'm gonna. I'll be lenient. I'm gonna know that within 3 strokes if you know what you're doing with me. And I don't have time to sit there and figure it out. Like maybe he's gonna get the hang of it. Nope.
Oh.
So you hear that, guys? With big dick comes big responsibility.
It does. It does.
Okay. So 3 strokes, and you kind of know if you're gonna be like hitting it off or not, if this is gonna be a good time or not. Sparrow, from a male perspective, do you feel like at any point you really know if this is gonna be like a compatible fun time, like you're both about to enjoy yourselves?
Based off my dick or based off the other person? Because like I feel like it's like a question now. It's like it's 2 different things into like how am I like with this person, you know? I don't know. I just like can you rephrase that question for the moment?
Okay, let's start over. Have you ever been with a person that like from the start you knew you were going to be compatible, like this was going to be a nice time? And if so, why what gave you that impression?
Conversation. It's definitely the conversation. It's the conversation leading up to it, you know. We never just start fucking. You know, it's just like maybe we went out somewhere, maybe we had a couple of drinks. Maybe once again, it's just like the energy, it's the vibe. It's just like, am I talking to you? Like, can I look you in the eyes and know that we have some type of connection, and then just kind of go from there? That's where I kind of gauge it with. Because if I go out with you and I have like a flat ass conversation and you're just trying to go home with me, I know I'm not thoroughly gonna enjoy that, but I'm just taking it because it's some pussy or it's some head. Like sometimes, like.
You're so well rounded, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, thank you.
It makes me feel terrible.
What? Why?
I feel like, of course, when we like get to the 3 stroke rule, that's because you somehow passed everything else. That's like the very last straw. I look at your mouth. I look at the way you lick your lips. Like, I look at the way you walk. I look at the way you grab things. Like I am that type of person. I have literally
What does grabbing things have to do with anything?
It just means something to me. Like I have literally looked at somebody and I'm like, I don't like how you picked that up.
Like
So-
we can't have a
that.
nice time. You didn't do that right.
So
Like, you
is this
didn't
cup
pick
not right? Like, am I not picking it up right?
Like that's fine, but I would prefer.
Oh,
like,
you like
really,
firmness. You like okay.
really like when you do something, do it fully.
You like fully committed. Okay.
It's just like I want to see some type of strength in like everything that you do. Like
Okay. So that's just the type of person you're into as well.
Right, like
very
that,
dominant person.
it's just I feel like probably because I'm dominant too. I don't think I need the submissiveness. Like the push and pull is fine, but overall,
you want dominance in you. Like,
yeah, like
that's fair. I mean, it's what you like.
little ego fights, cool.
Okay, I think we've all kind of like
It's totally
vaguely said that like vibes are important, but that really we don't know. Our audience doesn't know what that means. But I'm sure we have enough moments to be like, this is an example of how we knew this wasn't a good vibe. Who you guys want to? I know we kind of talked about it before, but we kind of focused on dick size a little bit too much. Options are nice. Also, if you do have a large dick, like, don't feel bad. We still like you.
God, don't feel bad, no.
You know, we just gotta ease into things.
You just have to know what you are doing.
Right,
And if
but-
you know what you are doing, then go you.
Big responsibility.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the theme of this of this episode. We're gonna end everything and come back to that same thought somehow.
Shame on the women because we make y'all feel like y'all know what y'all are doing. So it's our fault too. I'm gonna say it. It's fine.
No, go ahead. Live your truth.
Y'all be sounding like parrots when you're having sex, and it's just like niggas don't be knowing. But, you know,
Yikes.
just wish for the best.
Not a parrot.
Yes,
I'm not a
parrots.
parrot.
I just, of all things to be.
Like compared to, like, I'm over here like a parrot. Like.
I think if someone I ever was with made it sound like a parrot, I would be done.
Yo, I am
Male,
gonna
female,
say,
it doesn't matter. That would be the end of the conversation.
yo, that's definitely a turn off for me. Is the moan. Like, if we start having sex and I just am completely turned off by the moan, I feel like I can't do it. I feel like I just need. I don't know.
What's a bad
I don't
moan?
know
Like,
how to
you know,
explain it, like,
I've heard some, like, from different perspectives. One, I feel like women in general have good moans.
not everyone. Not everyone though.
Okay, well then I've been very fortunate to not find a bad
That's
one.
what I'm saying. Like sometimes it's like you just get like a weird moan or like somebody with like a weird voice, and it's just like those are the things that I guess kill things for me. It's just like if you moan like a little bit off for me, and I'm just like, oh, I don't like this. Like I don't want to keep hearing this for like 10, 15 minutes. Like what? Like
Okay. Damn.
That's something that matters to you. That's important.
yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure you feel that too with some guys. They're just like grunting or like once again parrot talk. I guess like.
I guess something that's like, and this is like for everybody, think about what's important to you. Something that's important to me is like what leads up to that moment. I think like my inner actor needs that moment to live up to what it's gonna be. Like I can't finish. I don't know how to function.
You need the build.
Right, like my body doesn't know how to function when it like everything's cool. Then it's like, now my penis hard. It's just like, oh,
So you need the foreplay.
like yeah, my vagina will be like, wait, you didn't tell me it was time. I'm like, I didn't know it was time. And she's like, well, what do I do? I'm just like, like, I guess rub it out. I don't know. Like, I need that build up. Like, I need that foreplay.
Foreplay is important, guys. Foreplay is always important.
And it doesn't always involve touching, guys.
No, sometimes it's words. Sometimes it's like intimacy. Intimacy can
Sometimes
be defined in many
sexting.
different. Yeah, it's just always something that is like it has to be a turn on. You gotta turn the car on. You gotta turn the oven on. It's like
Yeah.
Preheat.
preheat, exactly. Like if you're not preheating, you're not getting stuff done. That's the truth. Like
I think that's so interesting though, because like, yes, that is definitely important, but where you said, Roxy, like it doesn't always have to be physical. I think that's important. Has everyone here been on like Tinder or Bumble or some form of a dating app at some point?
I have.
I know I have at some point. I definitely did the Tinder thing for a little bit. I tried Bumble. For the people who are on there, congratulations.
annoying.
I hated it.
Bumble, it sucks. Like yo,
I'm sorry,
have a whole
Bumble's never
episode.
gonna sponsor us, but Tinder,
yo, Tinder, I'm all with
give
you.
us that paycheck. Like
I
we're
have
ready.
stories through Tinder. Like
Yes.
Bumble.
Failures and successes. You know, it was pretty 50-50. Actually, it was pretty much more failures, but the
sometimes
good ones
hit a
were
hot
real
streak.
good.
Yeah, sometimes you hit a hot streak. Sometimes you just a little cold. You know. Sometimes you're just like, what the fuck is this? Like, but that's another story.
Yeah. But I only bring that up to say, in terms of preparation, or like the so-called like foreplay or whatever, I think sexting is important. I think sexual compatibility can really be like noticed in how someone starts to like build that interaction via phone. Because especially like for the people who were dating during COVID and we were in lockdown, I'm sure there were plenty of nudes being sent around or plenty of sex messages, late nights, whatever. Not even late night. I'm sure someone woke up and around like 9, 10 a.m. was like, you know what? I've been in this pandemic for like however many weeks. I need some help.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel it.
So I think that adds to like a compatibility factor for me. Because if you can't like,
Arouse you?
no, I can arouse myself pretty fine. I don't really need you to arouse me. I think it's more of a like, if you can't.
All power to you. Like.
Thanks. No, I think it's more of a like, sexting is playful. So if you can't be playful with me, then what's gonna happen when we actually meet up in person? Right?
Sense.
Like this is your like.
It's the pretense.
Yeah, it's like written. It literally is written porn. Like you're writing it out. Hey, what do you think is gonna happen? Insert activities. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but like you gotta try.
That's funny because one of the funniest things I've ever received on Tinder is like this girl asked me, "Is like, do you want to suck my clit like a pacifier?"
Oh shit!
And I was just like, "Oh fuck, this girl is with the shits." Like, and
I think the words "like a pacifier" would have turned me off.
No, it for some reason, I was just kind of like, "Yo, I kind of want to see what this is like now."
Okay.
That appealed to you.
That appealed to me for whatever reason because I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like,
I understand what the action is though in that like phrase. Like I understand that's like a constant like sucking motion, but also any other item other than a pacifier would have worked so much better for me. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying from like a personal preference, that's not the type of like language preference I have, right?
I mean,
like
I gotta say, to me, I was just kind of like, "Whoa, this chick is wild." Like,
did you end up meeting her?
No, I didn't. Like, it was just one of those things where it was just like it was building up, and I was just like, "Do I really want to do this?" And I guess sexual compatibility came involved. I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm just gonna skip out on this." Like,
I fuck with that completely because I feel like even in sexual compatibility, the whole goal is like to be open. Like for the most part, everybody like has their boundaries and stuff. But I know me, if you're gonna like be with somebody, it's different from like one night stands and stuff. But if you're gonna be with somebody, I want you to at least be open to trying what I'm putting down. Like you didn't know that you was gonna like you don't be thinking about pacifiers. You don't.
I told you, it hit me as a complete shock.
Right, but when she said like, pacifier, you saw shit
I imagined the motion, and I was just like, "Yo, she loved." Yeah,
and
I did.
Said, damn, pacifier, like in your mouth.
And I'm over here thinking like, "Yo, I could eat her out for hours probably." Like,
right, and I fuck with that. Like there is some shit that I'm like that shit weird, and then I didn't did it. I'm like, oh, this is my shit too. Like. I like this. Like, oh yeah, like let's do this again. I feel like right now, like as far as sexual compatibility for everybody, do not feel bad about what you like. I feel like I've seen a little bit of everything. Like some stuff I fuck with, like, some stuff make me feel weird. But it's just like I didn't seen everything. So whatever you like, I can promise you there's somebody else that likes that and then some. Like let's just do it all. As far as me, who I'm with, like if we're gonna come with it, you're gonna come with it. Like that's no pun intended. But yeah. Whatever it is that you are into, like just don't feel bad for that. There's so many people in the world. Whatever it is that you are into, somebody else is gonna match that same thing.
Yeah, eventually.
Like for sure.
Yeah, I think
it sounds like everyone. I think we can all agree that like it takes time to find that compatibility factor.
I agree completely. You're not just gonna run into the person and be like, "Oh, okay." You might vibe with them like on a like emotional level, or you might vibe with them like on a like physical level, or like to have all three is a very beautiful thing. I think.
Yeah.
And it's also so much easier when you own it. I feel like I've been in situations where I've made something awkward that was something that I liked. And since I'm making it awkward, the other person's just like, well, shit, is it weird? Like, if you're acting that way. And then, like, vice versa, it's like, oh, nigga, you like that?
I don't know. That's why off the gate right now, I'm just like, hey, I'm a sexual deviant. You just have to be cool with that.
Like, right. Like, that's how I feel.
Is that how you present it?
When we start getting into the point about sex, like, if I just meet somebody and we're talking and we're getting to know each other, you know, all blah, blah, blah. But once sex starts getting involved, I'm just like, yo, straight up, like, this is where we are at with it. How cool are you with this? And I feel like that works out a lot better than going into somebody you're just like, and then just like,
I think it depends on what your deviant or activity is, I guess is the right word. Because I feel like with me and my preferences, the things I like involve a lot of trust from the people who are involved with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like if I think that the other person is going to be able to like partake in this activity, I'll kind of like before anything starts, I'll be like, "Hey, here's like a story of something that I've done. Like, you know, maybe this could happen." And then I kind of got to like ease into things like cuz you kind of got to figure out this other person's body too, right? Like this is a different adventure every time. Whether no matter like what gender or what person. So I feel like it's a good for me it's been good to just kind of be like here's this like little nugget of information and like the potential of where this can go, and then if it gets there, great, and if it doesn't, that's fine, we can walk away unscathed. Like you never have to have whatever that experience is with me just because that's like my preference, but also like if we get to that point, congratulations, this is Willy Wonka's freaking chocolate factory, you got the golden ticket, like let's enjoy.
And sometimes you want that golden ticket. That's just
Yeah.
the truth. That's the truth because that's a pleasurable night.
Yeah, I do think that's hard to find though.
The golden
Like-
ticket is 1 out of 5. Like,
True.
you literally
Isn't
got to
that
be
how
Charlie.
many contestants
Like,
there
yeah.
were, or was it 6? How many?
Was it 5 or 6?
I don't know.
I think it was 5. I haven't watched that movie in such a long time. I just remember it was like a limited number. Like, wait, let's see. There was the girl that turned blue.
Violet, you're turning violet.
Yeah, there's Violet. There was a rich kid that played video games.
Mhm.
There was Charlie, of course.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
There was the kid who fell in the chocolate fountain.
Okay.
Was there somebody eating chocolate
else?
cake? No, that's Matilda. Sorry.
There was the
Yeah,
husky
that's
kid. Was that the kid that
That
fell
was
in
the kid that got sucked up into the
Okay.
fountain.
Okay, that was
Remember, because that's the first song that the
Oompa
Oompa
Loompas
Loompas
play.
sing.
Okay, that was him.
Oompa
And then there was a really rich girl that wanted to buy the Oompa Loompas.
Yes.
Okay, so there was
But the rich girl was No, wasn't
No,
it
Violet was the girl that chewed gum.
Oh. I thought she was the rich girl.
No, the rich
It
girl was the
doesn't
one that
matter.
wanted to buy the Oompa Loompas.
Probably. Oh, the one that fell with the golden goose.
Yeah.
We stopped counting, by the way.
I think it's 5. We're at
Hey,
5. So
it's okay. This
possibly
may or may
5,
not make
6. It's okay.
it. May or may not make it into the episode. It's fine. We'll figure it out. I think this is a good point to stop and head to aftercare and talk about what we've learned and what we're taking away from this conversation. Sparrow, you're first.
Okay. I think what I've learned out of all this is just get to know your partners. Get to know your partners beforehand. Get to know your partners afterwards. Like, you can definitely get to know them what they like before, and then afterwards, when the actual deed is done, ask them how they feel. Did they like when you did this? Did they not like when you did this? Like, just more importantly, know your partner, know their bodies, know your body, and have fun.
I think like the main point of today would probably be like out of sexual compatibility, it would be to not feel bad for whatever it is that you like. Like I cannot stress that enough. It's just like whatever it is that you like, somebody's going to fancy that, or somebody's going to be interested, and your goal is to go for somebody that is at least interested. And then if you are that person, if you want somebody to be interested in what you're doing, you also have to be interested in whatever it is that they like, no matter how small, how big, how weird, or whatever. Like if that's what you want for you, then like do it for somebody else. But it's definitely respect yourself. If something is past your boundaries, that's okay too. There's so many people in the world that someone's going to fit your mold. So don't ever feel like an outsider for what you like that's intimate to your body.
Wise words.
Yeah. I think I've definitely learned that like sexual compatibility has so many different levels, but especially from a physical standpoint, building up to that point and being able to enjoy different aspects of that with different people is important, assuming that you have multiple partners throughout your lifetime.
Yeah.
But on that note, guys, this has been the latest episodes of We're All Adults. We want to thank you for coming and listening and hope you'll join us in next week for the next episode.
See you later, guys.